Art isn't a talent, it's a skill you acquire through accumulated knowledge and practice. In this presentation, I'll show you the knowledge I've gathered over the past years. When I was younger, I had no hobbies, no goals, nothing. And then I found art, and for the first time, I understood what it was like to have a passion, and I became addicted to art. I have now been drawing for 8 years, and I love it. I love to draw. And with that, I'm going to teach you a little, some tips and tricks I've picked up over the years. I'm going to try to hurry. I'm going to try to fit as much as I can in this video. It's going to be a little rushed. All right. So the first step for most digital art pieces you start with you have layers. You have multiple layers, digital layers, right? You have your sketch, your ink, your coloring, and your shading, right? We're going to start with the sketch. But before we start with the sketch, I have to warn you, no art is perfect. There's a wonderful video by Matthias Filhead called Art is Fun. It explains how it's not about the end piece, it's about the enjoyment of making the thing. So put all your perfectionist mindsets out the window. Art is not perfect, and that's how it is. Once you have that, once you've realized that, we're going to want to figure out what to draw. There are a bunch of art prompt generators and things like that online. My favorite is artprompts.org. I love using that. It's great. It helps with art block. It's awesome. And after we decide what to draw, we have our idea. We can put our idea into action. And this is going to start with the sketch. Before I get into anything, the quickest way to improve in just structural anatomy or just in general is just to use a reference. You're going to want to use a lot of references when you're doing your sketches. There's this one YouTuber called PewDiePie, and he had a drawing challenge where he drew every day for 100 days, and he improved. It's insane. It's insane how much he improved in that short amount of time. It's very inspiring. So use references. That is my tip. Use references. Do not draw from imagination. So for your sketch layer, you're going to want the sketch layer itself to be at a lower opacity. And that is so when you're inking, and we'll get into that in a sec, so that's when you're inking, you can actually ink over and see what you're inking. So it's not just like black on black and you can't see what's going on. For inking, you are going to want the inking, like the thickness of the line, to draw your viewer's attention. For example, usually the face is the focal point of a piece, right? So you're going to want like thicker eyelashes, you're going to want detailed hair. You can get so much detail and like an interesting piece just from hair, just from detailing the hair. You can add so much to that piece. I work on hair, practice hair. Hairs are really good. And practice line weight and whatnot. Now we're going to go to coloring and some basic coloring harmonies. I'll give you monochromatic. It's just a single color and you have different tints, you have different tones, and you have different shades. And it's just like orange, but different shades of orange. And just purple, but different shades of purple, right? And you have that single one color. Next, we're going to go complementary. If you have the color wheel, for example, purple and yellow, you have 2 colors and they complement each other, and just different tints, tones, and shades of those colors to make your colors, all your colors you need. Then you have analogous. If you have the color wheel, they're going to all your colors will be next to each other. All hues will be next to each other. Then you have triadic, which, for example, like the primary colors is a triadic color harmony hue patch, I guess. Then we have tetradic, which is basically a rectangle, if you can imagine the color wheel, a rectangle, like those 4 hues you pick. Well, that's a tetradic color harmony. Next, we're going to go to shading. One of my favorite shading techniques, and this is great for beginners, it's called cell shading. And basically what you do is you have your shading layer. Before we get into that, when thinking about shading, you're going to want to think about your direction of light and where light is coming from, if it's bouncing off of anything, stuff like that, and how that light is going to appear on your 3-dimensional object you want to create. Now that we have that, cell shading, you're going to have your layer, your cell shading layer, right? And you're going to pick one color. What is that? Red, a dark red, like a dark blue, dark violet, whatever, and you're going to set the layer to multiply, and you just use that one color and you just shade. You don't have to mess with any other colors for your shading. That one single color will do the trick for every single part of your piece. And with that, that is how you create a piece.